Good morning. I am with you, I promise, but I'm trying to do something that I haven't done in a while, which is a poll. Because, and I can't, for some reason, I promise I'll be with you in a second. I prepared a poll for this morning and I cannot activate it. And this bums me out because it is important. Okay, so technology does not want to help. That's okay. We will just improvise a poll informally. What is this poll about? Well, I am looking for your feedback. Um, Actually, let's just start from the beginning. We might as well. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Coffee and Headlines. This is our morning get together live here on Facebook where we exchange information, good ideas, bad ideas, good comments, good articles, bad articles. And today I have pet peeves. Do you have pet peeves? I have pet peeves today. And they relate to coffee and headlines and they relate to local businesses and I'm sure you have pet peeves about local businesses as well. And I'm just wondering how you manage your pet peeves. As far as my pet peeves, my public pet peeves, or those related to coffee and headlines, well, you know me, I always try to keep things cheerful here and uplifting. We don't want to shade anyone in public unless they're truly deserving of the shade. We want to look for ways to inspire and create teachable moments. But I have two pet peeves this morning, and I'm just wondering whether you want to hear all the details. You want me to hint at the identity of the businesses, whether I should just deal directly with the businesses in private, or I should ignore the businesses altogether. So tell me in your comments which one of those options would you like me to use here. And of course, tell me how you deal with your pet peeves to keep them from, having you roll your head or so forth and so on. Oh dear, we all want details. Jeez, man. Well, it's not like we want to shade anyone, but, the way I look at it is if I am out and about looking for a hot date and my fly is open, I want somebody to tell me that my fly is open. It's embarrassing, but you want to know that your fly is open. Otherwise, you're not going to succeed. And oh my goodness, everybody wants details. Okay, very well. Pet peeve is times they open versus the time. What? How did you know? Oh, because you read my personal Facebook page. Ah, yes. And Daniel, it's great that you're here because there is a cluster member that is looking for someone that knows about special modems and things like that. So I'm just wondering if when you are in Puerto Vallarta next, you would be willing to provide some assistance to someone. Please feel free to let me know, drop me a line, and we'll take it from there. Okay, so let me just reconnect this and let us have our usual broadcast because that's what we're here to do, of course. And we will start with our news as usual. We'll get to the pet peeves later on. First, I want to share a little bit about what's going on because we are in September now. Actually, before we get started with that, as usual, especially today, because we're going to be talking pet peeves, if there are any comments that you have that are related, that are important, please add a capital letter Q at the beginning of your comment. It will be helpful later on. And no, Brian, my fly is not open when I'm walking around. I have other methods, but the fly open has never served me well. Boom, boom. Okay, so let's start with the news. Let me set this up. Today is the first day of September. September is an important month here in Mexico. As you know, it is our most patriotic month. This is the month in which we celebrate Mexican independence, but we also celebrate other things that are important that I'd like to tell you about right now. For example, September 13 is the date in which we celebrate the 6 cadets that defended or who defended Chapultepec Castle in the war against the United States that took place between 1846 and 1848. September 16 is the date in which we celebrate our independence from the Spanish crown, with the main ceremony taking place on the previous evening, starting at 11 p.m. The battle was long. It began in 1810 and it did not end until 11 years later. September is also the month in which Mexico puts special emphasis on making sure that you have a will or a testament in place. Starting in 2003, Mexico's Ministry of Government, along with the National Notary College, established that September would be Testament Month, hoping to encourage the population to be proactive as it relates to estate planning. And more informally, I don't know if that this happens elsewhere in Mexico, but Septiembre, which is the way we say September in Spanish, is a month locally called Septiembre. And this is a word play. Of course, hambre means hunger. So why do we call Septiembre Septiembre? Well, because it's the most challenging month for businesses in Puerto Vallarta traditionally. Of course, not every business struggles, but some businesses do. Why? Well, as we mentioned yesterday, tourism is low in September. It's the lowest month. The weather is not ideal. It rains, it's hot, so forth and so on. So everybody that did not plan properly during the year, anticipating that September is going to be a nasty month, has a nasty month. So that's why it's called Septiembre. Last but not least, of course, this is the month in which we are going to celebrate all these things that make this month fantastic: music, culture, stories, and legacy, in a nice presentation that we are going to have on September 14th at the Joint Co-working Hotel. There will be details about this, and of course there will be details about all these special events as we continue through the month. Moving right along, I want to let you know that Tribuna de la Bahía reported this morning on an unnamed hotel on Playa de Oro Beach that dug up a big canal for hundreds of liters of sewage to find its way directly into the ocean. Nice going. Playa de Oro is the beach that is located just south of the Puerto Vallarta Maritime Terminal. So if you do not want to go to a beach where you might come up close and personal with stinky sewage, this is the one beach to avoid, at least in the near future. And this morning, we also learned of another train currently under construction, but this one is private. Apparently, Vidanta, aside from all the amenities that they have announced, will have its own train track to allow guests to move about the compound without much difficulty. Fancy schmancy, but of course, unless you're staying at Vidanta as a guest, you will not enjoy this particular amenity. At least I don't think we will. Moving right along and directly into the weather forecast, let me set it up on my screen. Sorry to shit all over your parade, but okay, you're right. I'm not sorry at all, says Snarky Weather this morning. It is 28 degrees right now. Humidity is at 79%, and our temperature in Fahrenheit degrees is 82 degrees. Our weather forecast for today says that we're going to have scattered thunderstorms later on in the day with a chance of rain of 61%, a high of 31, and a low of 24. Tomorrow, Saturday, we will have mostly clear skies in the morning with thunderstorms in the afternoon. A chance of rain of 56%, a high of 33, and a low of 24. And then Sunday, mostly cloudy skies in the morning with thunderstorms in the afternoon, a chance of rain of 77%, a high temperature of 33, and a low temperature of 24. And that brings us to the end of our news block. Let me very quickly cruise through your comments to make sure that we are all on the same page as far as pet peeves. Okay, I see a lot of people saying details. I don't see a lot of people saying handle it privately. So I'm going to go and dive into my pet peeves. And I want to do this with a little bit of a forewarning. When I share what I'm about to share, I'm not saying that these businesses are bad and they should not, and I'm not encouraging people to avoid them. I'm just going to say that these businesses could do better for themselves. And particularly this month when everybody is going around saying that September is septiembre. So the first pet peeve has to do with a restaurant. Yes, a restaurant that I visited recently called El Patio Merendero Mexicano. I even showed a little video about this restaurant. Now, this restaurant has a lot of things not going for itself. For starters, it does not have a storefront because it is located within a patio located inside, a courtyard. There's no sign on the street. You wouldn't know it's there unless they advertise themselves. But when I went and looked at it, I thought, oh my God, this looks like a really cute place. I want to go back and try it again. So the first thing that I did, which is the first thing that I usually do, is I went looking for business hours on their Facebook page. Their Facebook About page, for starters, has a website that does not work and does not have any business hours posted. So I figured, well, maybe the hours are on their menu, and I couldn't find a menu with hours, but I did find this promotion saying that they have a special deal on Thursdays from 1 to 10 p.m. And yesterday I was having a lunch date at 1 o'clock, and of course I arrived at the restaurant with my friend, and the restaurant was closed. And because the patio is shared with Marisma Fish Tacos, and we did not want to go anywhere else, we ended up having a wonderful quesadilla, a marlin quesadilla at Marisma Fish Tacos, which was truly amazing. So I'm happy to mention that the Marisma Fish Tacos that just opened here in Versalles is truly awesome. I would go back in a heartbeat, and I would go and try El Patio at some point. But El Patio, if you are watching, you may want to help yourselves a little bit. If you're not going to close, maybe something urgent happened, at least have the courtesy of of announcing it or putting something onto your social media, because otherwise, you're going to give people a bad taste in their mouth, as you gave me yesterday. So again, I will go back. I have nothing bad to say about El Patio, but they could help themselves quite a bit if they were more proactive with the way they handle their PR. So that's pet peeve number one. Pet peeve number two has to do with Natalie Hurling from the Vallarta Art Museum. And the Vallarta Art Museum is a project that I think is really awesome, and we mention them frequently. But maybe this is a pet peeve of mine. Maybe it is a pet peeve of yours. I don't know. Um, Vallarta Art. Well, first of all, how do you feel about people that leave flyers on your doorstep, on your car, or try to hand you flyers wherever you go? I personally, I'm not crazy about it. And, Natalie, for better or worse, has a habit of just dumping these things on my Facebook chat without saying hello, good morning, would you mind promoting, would you mind mentioning this, or something to that effect. Not even a have a nice day, nothing. And I am like, usually I don't pay attention to these things because I personally think it's not, number one, it's not very polite. And number two, you are, by saying that this is what you're going to do to promote your own business, you're not doing a lot for your business. Now, in fairness, I went to look at the Vallarta Art Museum Facebook page to see if they were in the habit of publishing Facebook events. As we know, Facebook events are a great way to get the word out. And something must have happened at Vallarta Art Museum back in March, because the last time they published a public event was in March. This is now September. So all the publicity, to the best of my knowledge, that Art Museum has been doing is by posting on their own Facebook page. And let's turn this, if you'll indulge me, into a brief teachable moment, if I may. When you post on Facebook, you can post on your personal page and appeal to friends. You can post on your business page and appeal to followers. You can post on Facebook groups, which will appeal to like-minded people. But then, of course, if you're posting on Facebook groups, you have to deal with the flow of other comments and other posts that your post may get lost there. And when you post on Facebook events, it's really the only way to appeal to new audiences. Otherwise, you are just knocking on the door of people that you already know. And it gets worse. It gets more interesting when you actually look at Facebook organic reach. What is Facebook organic reach? Is what happens when you post something on Facebook. How many people are going to see what you posted if you just post something and then go about the rest of your day? Now, according to Social Insider, personal pages on Facebook get a 6.53% reach, or business pages get 4.32, Facebook groups get 10.21, and Facebook events get 13.9. So Facebook events have the highest Facebook organic reach. Now, what does that mean for Art Vallarta Museum? Well, I took a quick look at their page, and Art Vallarta Museum has 1,500 followers or thereabouts. So when Vallarta Museum posted about the shindig that they're trying to have this weekend, do you know how many people saw that? 65 people. And of those 65 people, do you know how many people are in Puerto Vallarta and have plans to attend? Probably very low. So the message that I'm trying to send here is two. Number one, if you're just going to shove your publicity in people's faces, at least say good morning. And number two, if you're going to run such an important organization as Vallarta Art Museum or Arte Vallarta Museo or whatever the name is, the project deserves better than what the project is doing right now with marketing. So my wish for whoever watches this that is associated with such an important project is, take care of your PR and take care of your PR in a professional way, because that is what your project deserves. We talk about these things on Promo Prodigy, my workshop on how to amplify your message. And when we have that again, hopefully Vallarta Museo will attend. And that is my pet peeve. Again, I'm not saying don't go. I'm not saying don't go to the restaurant, don't go to the museum. Quite the contrary, these are great pursuits. But, Vallarta Art Museum, your fly is open. Enough said. Let us get into your comments for this morning. And if anybody has issues for me saying it out loud and in public and so forth and so on, we're just trying to help. Good mornings all around, and I appreciate that. Thank you very much. It is Friday. I forgot about that. And it is September. September is a good month for Earth, Wind, and Fire. And for Gilbert Bécaud and for Neil Diamond. We will talk about September songs later on. Let's see what we have. Gary Green says public chisme. See, Gary Green, I have to say, the Amapas Neighborhood Association has a good handle on their PR stuff. And I'm not saying that just because Gary's here. No, actually, I am just saying that because Gary's here. No, it's like, well, okay, enough. Paco, don't get obsessed. Let's see what else we have. Kathy handles pet peeves better than I do. She looks at me and tells me that if it's the worst thing that happened to us today, we've had a really good day. That's a good way to look at things. If your fly is open and your thing is hanging out and walking backwards, it's called trolling. Well, I haven't trolled with my thing hanging out and walking backwards ever before. So I'll have to try trolling at some point. Paula volunteers. Public pet peeves: when a waitress or bartender won't make eye contact because they are busy. Just say, "I'll be with you in a minute." That is a very popular pet peeve. I can relate. Let's see. Looking for cues. Kathy says, this doesn't have a cue, but it's related. I love El Patio, very cute, but yes, hours and menus are weird. Again, when I was there, it looked awesome. I only wish they opened when they advertise, or if they don't advertise, I only wish they would advertise their open hours. Let's see. There's another cue. Yeah, a simple sign that says, Todos, I have flojera and I don't want to work. We all have those days. Yes. All it takes is a little sign. Christy doesn't like flyers one bit. I don't like flyers at all. And when they're digital flyers, I don't like those either. Spencer says, thank you for that info, Paco. I say, you're very welcome. Let's see. Paco, I like it when you bring up issues like the Facebook talk. I learned something each time you do this. Well, thank you very much for that, Albert. That's what the Promo Prodigy workshop is all about. We spend a lot of time talking about Facebook and Rob. I thought you were crazy, but now I can see you're nuts. Your fly is open. Boom, boom. Where is my boom, boom when you need it? It's right here. What? Oh, here's another cue. When people don't pick up their trash. Yes, this is really unfortunate. There's a lot of that going on here in Puerto Vallarta. And I think this brings us to the end of today. Um, Once again, I don't want to make it a habit to have pet peeves going on, but it is so frustrating when good things have the potential to become even better and lack the vision to do that. And Natalie, if you're watching, you know, I love you. I respect your project, but just don't send me flyers anymore just like that. Nothing's going to happen to them. And for the rest of you, I hope you have an awesome day. I hope you have an amazing weekend. And I hope to see you again tomorrow, where we will start taking a closer look at Mexican independence celebrations. And that's basically it. Have a great day, and I'll see you again tomorrow.